Hey, everyone. We are on. Let me clear my camera. It was so blurry the last time. So we are on live. Please forgive me for being a few minutes late. I'm just trying to get this situated here. Next time I'll come on a few minutes before so that I can start right at 6 o'clock. So I wanted to say hello to everyone. It looks like I don't see anyone on here right now, but I wanted to say hello to everyone and quickly get started. Tonight, I wanted to talk about again, this is for those that may be your first time, this is Parenting 101. We'll talk with Lady J, something that I started last week, and glad that God is growing and encouraging me to continue to keep talking. Again, this is Parenting 101. We'll talk with Lady J. And tonight's topic is about it's time to talk. It's time to talk. Um, Many of us have heard about the issue with R. Kelly, which we know is not new to us. He has been dealing with that issue for years. He publicly came out a while back saying that that was an issue for him. So, with that going around, there's also a video right now going around with a young woman who is getting raped while in public. So, um, in a public setting with other people around. So I definitely believe now that it's definitely time to talk. We need to address some issues, concerns, things that are going on right now. There's a lot of teenage sex trafficking. There's a lot of things that are going on with teenage girls that they are not talking about, that they are not coming home and telling their parents about. So this particular YouTube is again about taking the initiative and saying it's time to talk. So what I want to deal with first is something that I have created in my own home and space to create platforms for us to talk. I did some research on the statistics of the relationship between the parent and the child and versus the relationship between a parent and a child at a young age, going through the teenage years and then going into adulthood, and the different dispensations and how the relationships change over time. So as I researched the difference between someone being 13 years old in the relationship with their parents versus someone being an adult and out of the household. So that's what we'll be dealing with tonight. So I basically, when I did this research, it basically was 474 parents that were tested to figure out what is the response again of someone having both parents in the home, the relationship, daughter or son, as it relates to teenagers coming home, talking, telling us about peer pressure, telling us about what's going on in school, things like that. So when I did the research and I was able to come up with a synopsis, it basically said they tested 474 parents that children, parents living in the home as well as not living in the home. And it basically said that now in this research that they about 1/3 of the research American, and then the rest was like European American. So I actually broke it down culturally as well. And basically, what was stated, children that grow up in stable environments without financial issues, parents fussing, fighting, arguing, stress levels being raised, moving from pillar to post, things of that nature. So it basically stated that the soil that the child was grown up in would determine the relationship that the child would have with you through the teenage years and ultimately turning 21 out of your house and making a life for themselves. So basically what's happening here is the soil that they've been grown up in, the atmosphere, the stress levels. Of course, we always can relate to the places in which cities where they live, because we know that has to do with what's happening under the ground, ley lines, things like that. So merely even attaching and adding to that, it is very important that the soil that your children grow up in be conducive to what you want to see come out of them. Maybe I should say that. It needs to be conducive to you saying to yourself, if I want to have a relationship with my child, I have to be an example for them. If I wanted to have a relationship with my child and I want my teenage child going into adulthood to respect what I have to say, to come to me for advice, to talk to me when they're under pressure instead of going to someone else, is determined and is based upon how they grew up, what they see you do and not do, how you, even yourself, stick to the things that you've taught them. So don't do as I say, but do as I do, instead of do what I said do and then I'm different. So again, we're living in a generation now that kids are growing up and they're watching us. They're watching our every move. They're watching everything that we do. They're watching everything that we say. And based on that, they're creating a synopsis on how they will interact with us when they get older. So if your child is over 21, they don't want anything to do with you. They, when they get into situations, you're not the person they call. When a very important decision, do they think back on the things that you've taught them in reference to them honoring the advice that you gave them, everything that they learned, the morals and things that you instilled in them? That will all reflect when they turn 21, and it will all determine if they want to deal with you or not. Now, I will say this. That's not in every case. Some children just, you didn't allow them to do. I'm not talking from the perspective of I'm dealing with my child and I was disciplining them. I spared the rod. I didn't spare the rod, and decided not to spoil the child. I didn't allow them to do anything they wanted to do. I disciplined them. I, didn't reward bad behavior. Not that. I'm not talking about them being upset with you or them not wanting to talk to you because you're telling them, hey, you're not living right. You're not doing right. You're not attacking life as you should. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the child that's being responsible, the child that's doing what they're supposed to be doing, left your house, made a good life for themselves, but want nothing to do with you. It's not. So I'm letting you know, based on statistics, if they want nothing to do with you, it's based upon either you didn't live up to what you said in private as you did in public, or something to that extent. And if you want your kids to have respect for you and be able to listen to the advice that you give them, you have to be very careful about how you live your life in front of them. So I wanted to deal with that first because I wanted to give some facts about what we're really dealing with here. And it's not just an African American thing, it's all across the board. Again, the statistics that I gave you basically stated that 75 to 85% of families that grow up with both parents in the home, that grow up with stable environment, that grow up not having to really deal with the financial stresses, not having to deal with a lot of chaos and tension and things like that, grow up differently and respond to you differently based upon how they were raised. And to me, at first I was saying, in some cases it's not fair, but it is fair because the reality of it is we're responsible for our children. They didn't ask to be here. And since we are responsible for them, we're responsible for the environment that they grow up in. We're responsible for, you don't want your kid growing up saying, I needed shoes and I didn't get them. I needed this or that and the other. My necessities weren't met because they will grow up to hate you. They will grow up to dislike you. And their whole goal is to be nothing like you, when that shouldn't be the goal. The goal should be, I want to be like my parents, but, be better, but at least the morals and things like that they should get from you. So again, statistically, it's stating that, the soil, the atmosphere, was it chaos? Did they feel love? Did you tell them you love them? Did you walk up to them and give them a hug? Things of that nature. Again, that's the first thing. The second thing I wanted to talk about, aiding, and this is just a nugget to ways to find to create spaces where you can be consistent and available to talk. Remember, again, not last week, but the week before, I stated how important it is for you to make time to talk to your children. If they feel like you're busy, excuse me, let me go back. The statistic also stated that most of the parents that were tested and most of the children that were tested, when they were asked certain questions about their environment and they answered them and the results came in, the children stated that they knew that their parents cared. They knew. So the children know, based on your level of how you raised me, will let me know that you care. So because you care about me, how I look, about my emotions, about if I go to school and am I going to get laughed at based on my clothing, or, because you care about me, my well-being, making sure I look nice, you love on me, then I in turn come to you when there's a problem. So it also stated that statistically, the children know that the parents care based on the level of care, level of prom. Did you make sure that especially when it comes to the mother and the parenting, it's important to have set aside time, dates. If you go to the nail shop, take your daughter to the nail shop. If you're going to do girly things, take the daughter with you, even if she's young, because everything that you do, everything that she sees you do, she's going to do. And another thing it also stated of the child, as far as chores, making sure that they stay responsible, will also negate to how they deal with you in the future. So actually, not sparing the rod, not spoiling the child, asking me about school, asking me about my curricular activities, asking me about the extra things I would like to do outside of school, just being involved in my life in my teenage years will result in them allowing you to be involved in their adult years because they have that choice. See, when we're young, mom's there. Mom's always there. Mom's always there. So you don't have a choice to deal with mom or not. So if you deal with your children while they're young, they'll choose to deal with you when they're old. Follow me? And it makes total perfect sense. It makes total perfect sense. All right. Again, the next thing I want to deal with is creating that space. So I have what you call friend zone. Now we always say, no, I'm not your friend. I'm your parent. I'm not your friend. I'm your parent. But the reality of it is that auntie, that uncle, that older sibling that they can go and talk to and be real with, that's who they're going to come talk to when those problems arise. If you want to be that person, you have to be transparent in that moment. If you want to be that person that they talk to, you have to be transparent. Now, I'm not stating allow them to be disrespectful. I'm saying create time spaces. So, an example, maybe on Tuesday and Thursday, between 7 and 8, I'm going to sit down with my child to vent. Even if they need to tell me about me, I'm going to just let them vent. Now, it doesn't, again, have to be disrespectful, not in, cursing or anything like that. And again, that's according to the parent. Some parents, it's okay for them. But I'm saying create spaces and times where you can call it the friend zone, where I'm not your mom right now. I'm not your dad right now. I'm your friend. And allow them to just go for it. Just go for it. They may even tell you about another friend or another situation of unloyalty they have with another friend. Just listen. Be quiet and listen. And be in a non-judgmental place. Don't be judgmental. Let this friend zone be a non-judgmental place. That you're going to say, you know what? If you tell me I don't like school, I'm not going to judge you. If you tell me that you really want to drop out, like really when I get out of high school, I could care less about college, I just want to get money, I'm not going to judge you. If you tell me you made a mistake and you did something, I'm not going to judge you. I'm allowing you that time to allow me to be a friend to you, a best friend to you, where you can just say, you know what? I'm just going to say it. I was scared to tell my parents about me being held at gunpoint in Richmond, real talk. Yeah, see, the thing is, that's major. You're being held at gunpoint, that's major. How do you as a kid, 14, 15, 16, 13, 14, deal with a traumatic experience like that? That's traumatizing. I mean, it's completely traumatizing at a young age like that. When you don't know much about life, you don't know much about the experiences of life, how can you really respond to that accurately? You need to talk to somebody who's older. You need to talk to somebody who's older than you, who has your best interest at heart, who can give you the best advice. So, that's just gunpoint. What about the young girl who was raped by the older guy? Who needs to talk about it? I can talk about my own self when I was 13, dealing with a 24-year-old. I didn't tell my mom for a long time until I just decided, you know what, I needed to speak up about it. But it tore me up on the inside. Your parents can't help you if they don't know what's going on. They can't change the environment. They can't be there for you if they don't know what's going on. But we as parents have to create that space where the child can just vent. So we call it the friend zone. You don't have to call it the friend zone. You can call it whatever you want to call it. But create spaces, times. Make yourself available for them to talk to you. For them to tell you the ugly things that they may not tell nobody else. Create that space for them. All right? So again, friend zone. It could be once a week, twice a week. But make sure whenever it is, or whatever it is, make sure it's consistent with your child. So they'll know I can hold, even if, okay, say they come and ask you for something. And you say no. And they felt like it wasn't fair. Or why you say no. The friend zone time will be the time. I want to know why you said no. Because a lot of times we're talking, we're having conversations, and I need to let you know, teenage kids, if there's any on here, we as parents deal with a lot of things that are very important and very serious. So it requires us to be serious a lot. So you may ask us a question at the wrong time, and it has nothing to do with you, or we're dealing with the stress of life, or we're dealing with an overwhelming issue that you may come and ask us at a time, and we just tell you no. It could be merely like we don't have time to deal with it right now. It could be merely that that it was just wrong time. So when you're asking a question to someone, when you're walking up to your parents and you're saying, hey, can I do this, that, and the other, and they're saying no. The friend zone time will be the time you say, well, why? Because every time is not a good time to say why. Trust me. It's not. It's you don't want to ask your parents because you may get the wrong answer. So I've just suggested to you your friend zone again. That's your space. That's going to be the time where your mom is going to say, I'm not your parent. I'm your friend. So when you say something, they can't knock you over the head. No. When you say something, they can't knock you over the head. When you say something, they can't talk at you. They have to talk to you. So that means they have to listen. So again, friend zone. This times where your children can vent to you about a no judgment zone. No judgment. If they know what, I got a problem with being lazy. I'm just a lazy person. I just read. I don't want to write. I don't want to. Because if they never come and tell you the truth, then you're never able to deal with that problem. My son DJ, and he can attest to this. My son DJ came to me. Well, actually, I have to tell y'all this. I think he was about 16 years old. I think he was like in the 11th grade, and my husband can attest to this. My son DJ came into the room one day and just started screaming. It was like, I'm tired of school. I can't take it. It's no point. I think it's stupid. 12 years of my life wasted. I mean, he just went on a whole rant. You guys, me and Pastor, like, all I could do was just break out laughing like, you talking about school, wait till you get to life. You gonna really feel like that about life. But it was like, one day he just decided to just let us have it. Like, as much as we was encouraging him, hey Tiana, as much as we was encouraging him to go to school, and by the way, you guys, Lady T Johnson, I'm on YouTube and Facebook. I was encouraging him to go to school. Good grades. You know, let's talk about it. Let's come to a conclusion. He one day just told me, I don't like school. And now, guess what? Now, guess what I got? Alexis is saying the same thing, you all. She's waking up like, this is so not neat. Like, so you got to let your kids talk to you so you can say to them, although I know you think it's not needed, it's not a must, but this is the process of life. This is how it works. So create, Lord, that's how I feel right now. Kiara, I know, baby girl. So create friend zone times. Friend zone times. From a young age. When your kids turn like 10 and 11, create friend zone times. Allow them a space, even at 10, to say, you know what? I don't like you, Mom. Just allow them to say it. So we can get to the root of why I don't like you. Now, if it's because you're getting disciplined, you're getting disciplined. But a lot of these times, kids are dealing with, it's so funny, my husband's laughing at me. But a lot of these times, kids are dealing with stuff that are from school, bullying. Being bullied in school. And they're coming home, and they're bitter, and they're upset, and they're mad, and we're not. We're not. Yes, they're 10 years old. And yes, all we're thinking is here because we don't got time for them. But the reality of it is we need to start talking to our kids at those ages. Because R. Kelly and every other person, pedophile, and I'm not bringing him up because I'm really in prayer about the situation that he has is it's a very sad issue. But the reality of it, a lot of African American homes that dealt with this same issue, that people are not talking about how they're being touched at home. They're not talking about how they're being bullied at school. Kids are not talking about it. So they're holding on to it, going through the whole life dispensation, everyone getting in relationships, and now we have a problem. That's what's happening. We're getting in relationships, carrying all this baggage, carrying everything we're not even under these marriages that we're in, that is not bringing God no glory because we're just in them, and God is not in the middle of it. And we're just so trying to save face. I don't want to get a divorce. I don't want to do this. We're not understanding. We're not giving God no glory. So the child in the home is seeing a dysfunctional marriage. So then when they grow up, it's dysfunctional. Or they don't want nothing to do with you because you didn't show me how it's really supposed to be. So we got to get out of do what I said do and start walking in the don't do as I say, but do as I do. Or don't just do as I say. But look at my examples. My example I do in the public should line up in private. A lot of times your kids don't respect you because what you're doing in private, what you're doing in public, and what you're saying in public, and what you're declaring in public, and who you say you are in public doesn't line up to who you are in private. So they don't come to you. So they don't respect. Statistically, it said the soil that your kids are grown in, where they're grown, where you live, the atmosphere grown in, if you discipline him, how you keep your house, all that would determine if your child wants to deal with you or not when they get older. And the reality of it is, when our kids get older as parents, that's the joy of them coming to hang out with us. It's said statistically that when they get over 21, that's when you really want to hang out with them. So if that is the case, when they're young, create a relationship. So that when they get older, they want to deal with you. All right, so the next thing I want to deal with. Ooh, this is a big one. I want to deal with gender roles. We got to deal with gender roles. I know many people may say, well, why are you so focused on the parents? Because I think a lot of times we don't understand that our child is a reflection of us. Our child is a reflection of what we allowed them to see, what we allowed them to hear, who we allowed them to go around. So in order for us to create relationships, in order for us to have our child feel comfortable with coming to us and opening us the issue, I'm getting bullied at school. We as parents have to change our love language. We as parents have to change how we handle the child. We as parents have to change how we handle each other in front of the child. That's where it's getting to. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was gender roles. This is a big deal. A very big deal. Gender roles. What I mean by that is, let the father be the father and let the mother be the mother in the household. Kids do not need to see the parents arguing. Not good. That's number one. If you got an issue, if there's something going on, talk about it at another time. Go take a drive. Go take a drive. Let the man be the man. Let the woman be the woman. And don't overstep those boundaries. It's very important, people. It's very important. You overstep those boundaries. What you're doing is you're showing your child how to respond to a man or a woman. I told my own daughter, I had to ask my own daughter for forgiveness. Because I said, I haven't always talked to a man. So if me as a woman, as a mother, as a wife, don't always talk right in front of my daughter as a young woman, then those are the characteristics she's going to create. And they're saying statistically, when your kids grow older, with them creating those characteristics, that's how they will interact with other people. So again, that's how they're going to interact with you. So if I'm creating this monster, when I'm dealing with a monster, I can't get upset. Gender roles are and let the man be the man. Let the woman be the woman. And I'm not talking about you being in a man, you realizing, okay, this role that your husband cooks more. That's not a problem. I'm saying in relationships, make sure that your son and your daughter are seeing you in the right role so that they can walk out the right roles. It's very important. We're not understanding that the soil that our kids are growing up in, the things that they see us do, the things that they're around, is going to be their whole makeup. Their whole makeup. 12, 13, 14, 15. Everything that they've seen you do. Everything that they've seen you go after. Everything is going to be how they live life. Statistically. Being said, if you want your kids to respect you, if you want them when they're older to get advice from you, if you want a relationship, because there has to be talking going on. We can't listen. They know if you care. They know. Your kids know if you care. If you're not asking them what happened at school, if you're not asking them how is school, if you're not asking them, I ask my daughter almost daily, how is your curriculum in school going? Do you need a tutor? Do you need help with anything? Don't wait till the last minute. You're gonna be able to graduate. They remember all these things. And the same thing that you teach them is what they're gonna teach their children. So the relationship with you, you let there by making time. Take time. The friend zone. And you don't have to call it the friend zone. Call it whatever you want to call it. Make time for your children. It's important, people. If you make time for them now, we all know they're gonna have their own families, they're gonna have their own lives. But on holidays and on birthdays and things like that, on your own birthday, if you want your kid to you want to still have those moments, it's all going to be based on how you interact with them when they're young. Create the friend zone. Allow them to come talk to you in a form that you're not judging. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to be your mom. And I'm just going to just allow you. Again, my son used to always say, Mom, you're talking at me, not to me. The child gets in trouble at school, the first thing we do, can get help at home with home and family made fun. Wow. I'll deal with that in just 1 second. Well, actually, I'll deal with that now. Yeah, make time for your kids at home. If they need homework, I need help them. Do you know if you don't create that space where they can be free and coming to talk to you, if you don't create that space where you don't talk down to them and they don't feel stupid, if you don't create that space, they won't even come tell you they can't do their homework. They won't even come tell you that they don't know how to do something. Feel at it. Feel like somebody's gonna laugh. Don't laugh at your kids. If they come to you and they say they can do something, if they come to you even at a young age, and I'm so wrong for this, y'all. My kids, when they were younger, let me tell you what they would do. My kids, when they were younger, when they was like 7, 8, I think like around 10, they would just make church programs. They would make plays. They would make skits. They would make all kind of stuff. And their father would have to sit down and watch them. And I'm telling you, y'all, before they could even get it out, I would be just cracking up laughing out. I mean, like, they would sing church songs and the words would be all wrong. And I was just, cracking up laughing. And I had to realize one day that although I'm laughing and it's all fun and game, they would get really upset and hurt because they would spend the whole day trying to make something for me to see, for them to show me their gifts and talents and things like that. And so, very important to them. And I would just be laughing at them. Like, because it was funny, but I wasn't realizing that I was laughing at, not really, so to speak, laughing with them, but I was laughing at them. And I thought I was laughing, with them because they're kids, but it wasn't funny. So what I'm saying is, kids, they go create stuff. When they make a picture for you, make a big deal about it. When they having good grades in school, make a big deal about it. Give them allowance. Give them, let them know, find way, tell them to read a book a week. Pay them for reading a book. Create a relationship. No one knows your child better than you, hopefully. Because a lot of times our children go to other people. You don't want that. You want your advice. You're the number one person that has their number. Yes, it takes a village. Yes, other people are there, but you want your child to come talk to you. So again, number one, create the friend zone. Okay? Create the friend zone. Create a space where your kids can come talk to you. You can call it whatever you want to call it. Whatever name y'all come up with. Where you're not judgmental and they can just vent. Now, some people let their kids cuss. I mean, that ain't my thing. But whatever you want to do to allow your kids to be free for however long. It could be for an hour. And normally it's like an hour. To allow your kids to vent how they feel about certain, because we need to deal with some rooted issues. So again, friend zone. Number two, gender roles. Make sure you play your role correctly. Don't overtalk the man in front of your daughters, in front of your children. Let the children see love. If it's a marriage, hug in front of them. Let the children see that. Let them feel the love. Because when they get older, that's what they're going to display. They're going to display what they see. They're going to display, the examples, the things that they do is going to be based on the examples that they see in front of them. So make sure we play our roles correctly. Don't overtalk the man. He's the leader of the house. He makes the final decision. That's it and that's all. Don't do that. When your kids come and ask you for things, parents be on one accord, whether you're in the same household or not. Because kids play on that. They try to play on the parents. No. But again, we have to create that space. So, I don't know. Anybody have any questions, concerns? Those that are on here? Trying to see. I always write things down. I think I've touched on everything I pretty much want to touch on tonight. So I here's the thing. If statistics say that the kids know that we care about them, statistics say no, you care. They know you have a concern about them. That does. The parents that know they know. We're talking about that. We're talking that deciding when I roll as a mother or father. I'm deciding that I'm going to take care of you the best way possible. Do the best I can to take care of you. If that's what I'm saying, why is it that our kids don't want to come talk to us? If I've told my child over and over that I care, if I've told my child, and not just told them, but shown my child over and over that I want to be involved in their life, that I want to be involved in their thought process, that I want to be involved in their decision making, why is it that they go to other people and they don't come to talk to us? I've heard it, trust me. I've seen it. As leader being in the church, a lot of the young kids come to talk to Pastor and I. But, it happens in most homes. So why is it? Why is it that they know that my mother cares about me, the person that birthed me in the world, my father, the person that birthed me in the world, they won't come and talk to you because you haven't given them a space to come and talk. Because all the time, every time you talk to them, you talk at them and not to them. So they're so scared to come tell you anything. They're scared to tell you that the boy at school is bullying me. They're scared to tell you that the teacher at school is not treating me right. And oh, best believe some of these, because the first thing that you're going to say is studying, listening, and then based on you knowing your child and know what your child is capable of doing. So why is it that they don't come to us? They know we care. We're taking care of them every day. Yes, Kismet, peer pressure. We have not, and it's bad in the African American culture because we just ain't got time for our kids. We just don't have time. Somebody said I have a question. I have a question. I started smoking at 13. I'm 18 now. Excuse me, you all. My apologies. I got to punch the button here. Let's see. In cultures, we tend to do that. We tend to not allow our kids to come home and be able to vent to us, tell us, that the teacher is not treating them right before we take the stance of just cutting them off and telling them that they're wrong. I started drinking at 52, now 53. What do I do? You know what? Only my uncle would come on here and say that. You need to go into your secret prayer closet and don't come out until you get delivered. Only my uncle. Only my uncle. I'm not gonna be Uncle Seymour. Only my uncle. But anyway, Uncle, I'm really trying to help the people. Go into your secret prayer closet and don't come out. But you know what? The guy on YouTube just asked you about drinking too. Go into your secret prayer. If you 52, now 53, and you still drinking, first you need to thank God that you're still alive, cause your liver should be shot. Your liver should be shot. So you should be just thanking God you're alive. But anyway, yeah, go into your prayer class. I love you, Uncle. I really do. But anyway, I got all these devices set up on here. Keep up the good work. Uncle, I'm trying to help the people. Only you. You done got me all, of course, but only Uncle. But anyway, only you could, you know what, Uncle? Only you could make me talk too, because I would have ignored everybody else, but now I can't ignore you. Anyway, but yeah. So anybody have any questions? I had someone on YouTube that had a question, but about smoking. I don't know. It was about smoking, and I really see it now. Some type of way my connection got disconnected. But it was talking about smoking, but it's so funny, Uncle C. I don't even think you see that. But I'm on both of my devices here. But anyway, anybody have any questions? Kismet, any questions? Well, Kismet, you don't even got no kids, but it takes a village. It takes a village to raise kids, but so you know about teenagers and things like. Thank you, Uncle. I'm gonna just keep doing it, but hard to do, Uncle, and it's crazy. Even the video. Oh, if you guys seen the video that came out about the young lady who is at the club, and I hate that this just saddens me that it's going viral. It's a young lady, teenage girl in a club getting raped, and everyone is around, and I think even her friend is standing next to her, and she's on live, and she's crying, asking for help. So, can you get around it? Uncle, we not gonna go there. Yeah, we working on it, Uncle. And it's a video going around, a live video going around. So I don't know if you have seen it. Even my kids seen it, and it kind of just made my son completely sick. But basically, there's a video going around with a young girl. She's getting raped, and she's on live. So this, God giving me this, I really want to talk to these young women. We've got to, young teenagers at home, you've got to create spaces to talk to them. Please, please be non-judgmental and allow them to talk. The video that's going around, it's so sad. It's very sad. It's disturbing. And I'm glad that I'm glad that it was alive so that, and if I'm not mistaken, I think there was some police response to it. And I think it was because of the live. But we've got to start talking about these issues. So that's why I've been doing this parenting one-on-one on YouTube, Facebook Live, because I want us to create platforms to discuss what we need to be telling our young children. My shoe project, that's what that is all about. Creating a platform and a space for us to bridge the gap with these young women. We need to talk. What's going on with them? What's going on? There's a lot. Again, statistically, it says based on the soil that your child was born in, based on the disciplines, based on if the soil that they were grown in were stable. It's going to be based on the interaction, the relationship, and how they view you when you get older. So if we want our children to come to us for advice, to come to us when things are not going right, to come to us when something's happening at school, you have to create that space. You have to allow them to talk to you. Don't be so busy. A lot of times we're too busy for our own children. I had to realize that. Although I'm a leader of a church, I can't be so open and available for other people's children and not for my own. Keep doing it. Our next generation is in trouble. And this was, yes, it's needed. I was so available for everybody else's child that my own children were coming to me saying, but you're forgetting about me. You're forgetting about me. And I'm right here in the home with you. I think we just go through life and we're just else, and everybody is on their phones. Everybody is just doing their thing. We don't have family time no more. We don't sit down at the table and eat. And I make sure every Sunday we come home, we sit down and eat. My kids and I and Pastor and I, we play a board game. Start doing things together so they know this is family time. So when a problem arises, they come to family, not to somebody else. What happens is the young girl has no one to talk to, has no one to be transparent with. So then she looks to the older guy. She looks to the father figure. You have the young man. I've recently heard so many young boys who were, when they were young, who really got really, I won't call it rape because it wasn't rape, but really got fondled by older women. Like their first non-virgin experience was with somebody who was 10 years older than them. I've people talking about it all over. So let's create this space where the kids can come and talk to you and say, you know what? I'm not looking for another father in somebody else. I'm not looking for another mother in somebody else. Because that's what these kids are looking for. They're looking for mother and father. They're looking for love in all the wrong places. Right, we used to eat together, no TV, just eat and check in with each other. Right now, what happens is everybody's eating. We're all in different spaces. Everybody's on their phones. We can go out to a restaurant. Everybody on their phone. Oh no, the devil's a lie. Listen, when I sit down and watch a movie with the family, we say no phones on. We're going to all sit down here and we're going to watch this movie together. Because y'all could all be sitting down in the same room and still not be doing nothing together. So it's time out. Family, this is how we're going to create the family. We have no families in the churches, no examples. Barely any. We're the families, but that's because the things that we're doing at home, we're so busy, we don't have time. Make time. I guarantee you don't make time, they're going to go talk to somebody. They have to get it out. Oh, also, it also stated statistically that when kids don't get the attention, the care, the love, when they're young, when they have these problems, they use drugs. They turn to alcohol. because they want to cover the pain because they don't even want you to see it. So it's kind of like, since you're not interested in me, I don't want you to know me. So that's why most kids, they come home, they go straight to their room and close their door, because this is how it is. This is what we've done. Our own children, we always talk about spirit of God, sport a child. We always talk about in Ephesians how it talks about children obeying your parents in the world, but the next part says we don't provoke them either. A lot of times we provoke our own kids. We bother them, we laugh at them, we think things are funny because we have that control. Sometimes we say no to the children and there's no real reason. Sometimes when they're teenagers and they're adults, when they're teenagers and they're 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, it's time to have a reason. Don't just say no and no provide an explanation, but maybe I can understand you better as a parent and I won't dislike that you said no if I understand why you said no. Maybe you could tell me in your spirit that when you came to me with the question, my spirit said it wasn't going to be right. When you came to me and you asked me, could you go to the friend's house, my spirit said no. So maybe if I tell you that the Christ that's in me, I'm so in tune that my spirit said no, then maybe you can bear to receive that. Instead of me just saying no, because I don't owe you no explanation. Because the reality of it is, if I want you to make better decisions, if I want you to be more responsible, then I need to teach you how. And the way to teach you how is in the experience of it. So when you come to me and you ask me something, I may say to you, or you come to me and say, can I go here and there? And I may say to you, yes, you can go here, or no, you can't go here, because I've noticed that you've been off focus with this because you got this. Or, teenagers get cars, teenagers get phones, and they get off focus. So it's our job to be so in tune enough and so observant that, hey, you've been doing this long enough. Hey, you need to get back to this. Hey, you need to get back to that. But we as parents, we so busy, we don't even know. We ain't even paying attention. So what's happening is, in your garage, in your basement, really now kids in their rooms building bombs. You got your own kids in your household addicted to pornography. How did that happen? And you pay the internet. The devil is a liar. How are they addicted to these things? Then you don't know. Listen, take their phone. You know what I do? Oh, my kids used to hate it. I pay the phone bill. So I do random phone checks. I don't even warn you. So guess what? You better, whatever you saying, you better erase it quick. So there are certain limitations and disciplines that you can have, but then sometimes there are certain things we need to let down our guard on. We need to tell the children, if I say no, this is why. No, not because I owe you an explanation, but I need you to understand why. So then you don't have to go to your room and pout. And then there doesn't have to be tension in the home, and then you don't have to get in trouble. Because I am the parent, so you can't walk around here slamming no doors. You can't do what you want to do. But at least we have a better understanding. And then maybe as a child can say, well, this is why I wanted to do it. And then maybe next time we can come to a better medium. And no, you don't have to come to a medium with your child. No, you're the parent. I'm just suggesting, in order for you to create a relationship after 21, because the reality of it is, after 21, most kids run away from their parents. They just want to run to a whole nother state. Why is that? Why do your kids want to run to a whole nother state and don't want nothing to do with you? And we got to stop saying, well, oh, that's too bad. No. This is a two-way street. What happened that your own child that you birthed in the world don't want nothing to do with you? Because most kids want, sometimes the father, okay, he's a more disciplinary action. But I see parents that the kids don't even want nothing to do with the mother. So I'm saying that to say, oh, I got 6 minutes. I done got on here and didn't even looked at the time. So I'm saying that to say this. Listen, we as parents, stop provoking your kids. Don't provoke them. Please don't. And if you don't have any examples on provoking them, well, you just aggravating them because you can. I'm the parent, so I did. You shouldn't do that. Let me tell you another thing, and I promise you I'm going to get off here. I used to play games with my kids. And I used to wake my young kids up when they was little. I would wake them up on a Saturday and make them get up, get dressed for school. And it wasn't even no school. Just to see them get upset to lay back down and get mad because I done interrupted their Saturday sleep. I got a kick out of it, y'all. I mean, little pranks on my kids, I got a kick out of it, but it was wrong. It was wrong, because guess what? Your kids remember that. And maybe to them it wasn't funny. Right? You want to play a game with these kids, because you can. That was wrong of me to do. But it was so funny. Y'all should have seen the kids. They be so sleepy. Listen, I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I be like, it's time to get up for school. It's a Saturday. I wouldn't even tell them it's Saturday. I knew it was a Saturday. But they was too young to figure out the days. So I would be like, okay, it's time to get up for school. And me and their father be in the room laughing. Wrong. Then we come out the room. They all dressed and ready to go. Sleepy, tired, ready to cry. I mean, they didn't completely got dressed. And we come out the room saying, no, fake, ain't no school. On a Saturday. Yeah, Kiara. And they remembered. They remember when I laughed, when they would have these concerts. So y'all can't do your kids like that. Because you may need them one day. And listen, you be in a wheelchair or something, or you need to get fed, or you need them to take you around or something. They want food with you. So again, I have had so much fun tonight on this here live. So I'm on Facebook Live. I decided to do Facebook Live because a lot of people were trying to find it on YouTube and they couldn't. So again, my Facebook Live is on here. Again, I'm on here, Parenting 101, every Thursday, 6 p.m., 6 to 7 p.m. Hey, Pop, you late. You're late, Pop. I'm getting ready to get off. But I'm here from 6 to 7 p.m. every Thursday. Again, tonight we talked about it's time to talk. Okay, it's wrong, but it's funny. Oh, man, and Don, I was waking the kids up at 6. You got to... Oh, yes, I'm on YouTube. Yes, I have a boyfriend, somebody on YouTube. I actually have a husband. He's the pastor of the church. Yes, I have more than a boyfriend. I have a whole husband. But God bless you. It's okay. I understand. But I know I don't got a ring on. I need to put that on. But anyway, I have been here for... Oh, listen, Don, I did have so much fun on here. Pastor, you see that, Pastor? Oh, shucks. Anyway, I love y'all. I will be on here next week. I will tell you this. The reason why I don't say what I'm going to be talking about is because I really pray about what the people of God need to hear and what we need to deal with. And this is what God gives me. God gives me topics to talk about, and he tells me what's needed for that week. So a lot of times when I come on here, I don't say what I'm going to talk about because I get fresh manna from the Almighty God. I get fresh manna on what needs to be said on here. So anyway, I have had so much fun. I promise you, I'm going to keep doing this again. Maybe you can have another beer. Oh, no, I can't have no friends on the side. I promise you I can't. I don't. Listen, I'm really saved. I live a life that's pleasing to Christ. I got one husband, one man, that's it. So anyway, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm actually on Facebook Live, and so I have a guy on here. But I want to make sure I'm respectable. So anyway, I'm going to go on and get off of here. It's been real. It's been fun. Again, next week, Thursdays, Parenting 101. I'm on YouTube, Lady T Johnson. I'm on Facebook Live, Lady T Johnson. We're going to have a lot of fun on topics in India. My children on. In the up and coming weeks, we're going to have some other special guests, my children coming on, so that we can get this show rolling and get some hot topics going. All right, I love you much. It's been real. God bless. Are you?